today's video, I'm going to explain to you the gatekeeping secrets. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to set in my bald line, and I'm going to speed this up just so that I can get into the important parts, right? Everybody knows that you set in your bald line, you debulk that whatever is underneath with your trimmer, right? But what's important is all the connecting pieces, connecting that bald line to lever open, that lever open into 0 and 1, that 1 into 1.5, and 1.5 into 2. So here I'm using my shaver. The shaver is important because it truly gives you that gradient effect because it's completely bald, right? So now I'm going to my lever all the way open. I'm using the Stylecraft Sabers. So when I'm taking out this bottom line, I'm flicking to the line, a slightest bit past it. Even if you want to imagine, you're flicking to where that lever one notch open is. But when you get to where that one notch open is, you're angling the clipper out, right? So just practice that motion of flick to with your lever closed. You're flicking to that line, then you're flicking to one notch open. And when you get to that one notch open, you're flicking out. And you're doing this with every single step. See, what makes this so difficult is when you watch this, because my wrist is moving fast, it's easy to think that I'm not flicking out, or it's easy to think that I'm just going straight at the hair, or it's hard to see what I'm taking out, what lever I'm using, open, close, middle, whatever. But if you're middle, you're flicking to the middle of that ball line and that lever open, and you're just flicking a little bit past it and then flicking out once you get past it. That's literally a secret that I did not understand when I first started cutting hair. It took me forever to truly get good at fades because that process, I just couldn't grasp it. So it's the same thing here. So now, if you listen to what it was that I was saying, this action gives it a better example. So now it's closed. So when I'm going close, I'm just going a little bit past that line, flicking out. When I open up the lever a little bit, I'm going past the spot that I need to be, that I'm trying to take out. Once I get past it, I'm flicking out. And then it's the same thing with the one guard. And I don't want to babble. Y'all need to let me know if I'm babbling too much. If I'm babbling too much, let me know. I think from now on, the tutorials that I want to give is just straight informational. I don't want to explain to you every single step. I want to explain to you what I'm thinking throughout the steps. And what I'm thinking right here is I'm just trying to match how I set in the back lever open to the side lever open. And then I'm just going to take those lines out the same way that I just explained it to you. So here I noticed that I went a little bit higher. So I'm probably going to come back with that trimmer and take out that bottom line. So I'm looking at this as like I'm watching film, right? But you see, now I'm detailing it. So I'm going back to that line, making sure that I get it out completely. So now I'm going with the one all the way open. See, so here's what's dope about the one. When you get to the top, as you can see where I would use the 1.5 at, I'm flicking all the way out. I think a lot of times when I first got into cutting hair, I would just use this motion straight up and down. I would not flick out. Like imagine you're drawing a line, right? If you're right-handed, you're drawing a line vertical, and then you're rounding at the top. Vertical, rounding at the top. That's the motion of cutting hair. And if you're left-handed, vertical, rounding to the left. Vertical, rounding to the left. That's the motion. That is literally the motion of each and every guideline that you set and each and every line that you take out. vertical, round out. So now here I'm closing the clipper and I'm just softening up that line for when I come back with the zero guard. And for all of my golf fans out there, when you have a golf swing, obviously, you know, there's 1,000 things that you have to do to get that swing down pat. But the motion is swing back on your backswing and then come straight down. Obviously, when you go full speed, it's not going to feel that way. But if that's the motion that you're thinking, that's the motion that you're going to be doing without realizing. And it's the same thing with this straight up flick out motion. I hope I'm making sense. I'm trying to break it down the best way that I know how. And I'm just following the same shape all the way around the head. I'm trying to match his braid line where he has the braids, the disconnect, the undercut, if you will. I'm trying to match that same shape with my guidelines. When you get to a certain level of cutting hair, doing it for so long, you understand how to skip steps. And this is one of the things that I did. I set in my first guideline, and while I was in the area, I just closed it and I just softened it up because I'm going to come back with a zero guard in that area. And I'm just connecting in the middle here. So now I'm coming back with my zero. And here is really just cleanup work. The zero guard is either going to be your best friend or your worst friend. Because it's either going to make the fade or it's going to break the fade. And for here is making the fade for me. So I'm literally just notching at that area, right? The lever is halfway closed. So me notching at this area, I'm just seeing how the hair is reacting to the clipper with it halfway closed. If it's taking out a lot, I'm not going to keep on messing with it. But if it's not taking out nothing, I'll start closing up that clipper. Closing up the lever. But I'm just gonna, mess around with the lever open and closed from that 1.5 spot down to the lever open. But I'm being very dramatic here with the flick out motion. A lot of times that one guard and the zero guard is almost the same. The zero guard gets a little bit closer to me, in my opinion. There's other barbers that have their other theories, but this is what works for me. So I'm just going to continue to fluctuate back and forth. And forgive me for the change up in the camera, the focus, all of that. I'm trying to work with this DJI Osmo Pocket, seeing if I can get a better POV view. Y'all let me know if this POV is more clean, if you prefer more the camera or you like the POV. This next one that I'm about to drop is going to be on the camera. So I would like you guys to compare the two But as you can see, the blend is coming together. And I'm just gonna do the same thing on the other side. I think I low-key forgot to turn the camera on this side because it looks already blended. But it's literally just the same thing that I did on the side before. He does have a skin tag right there. So I'm kind of trying to stay away from it, but also not like avoiding the hairs there because then it's gonna look weird. So I'm just going close enough to cut it. And then I'm just gonna connect the left side and the right side by blending in the back. But it's the same motions, that vertical and round out. And if you're in barber school, try doing that on a piece of paper. Like take your pencil, hold it as if it's a clipper, vertical, and round out. Round out. And when you round out to the left or you round out to the right, eventually you just start rounding it out back towards yourself. And you'll start to see like, okay, this makes a whole lot more sense. And the lines is gonna blend so crazy, I'm telling you. It's like a night and day difference once you understand that. I remember being there where I'm like, bro, it seems like I'm never gonna be able to fade. Nah, it gets easier, I'm telling you. All it is repetition. Now I'm taking my 2 guard. This is the highest guard that I'm gonna use. Taking my 2 all the way up to the top. Obviously this is gonna be a bigger guideline space, but when I'm doing mid phase, I always like to use a little bit bigger guidelines because it just makes the blend look a lot better. And now here I'm just closing that lever. Now I'm going with my 1.5, and I'm just trying to connect that 1 guard spot, 1.5 spot to the top. And I'm using the corner mainly here. I'm gonna work around the edge of the lineup, working around his skin tag. If you want to be precise, work in certain areas, just use the edge of your blade. Edge of the blade is gonna give you that precise cut. And And whenever your client is laughing, don't finish cutting. Wait till they stop laughing, because they'll form wrinkles in the fade when they get to laughing. And I know it may seem a little crazy, but that can mess up your blend. That can mess up your process. So, you know, me and him, we always clown every time I cut his hair. Now we're just gonna take that one, and I'm literally just using the corner. I'm using like 2T for the corner, and I'm just trying to just connect the dots. That's it. Come back with that 1.5. Just going through my guard systems, right? Because once you go through ball line, lever open, 0, 1, 1.5, 2, now you got to look for the spots where those guards can take out certain dark spots and give it that gradient look. So if that's using the same guard over again, seeing, you know, making sure that you got the right spot, do it. Obviously, you don't want to spend too much time on it. So now we're taking the 3 to his hairline. His hair gets pretty thick, but if you take it too low on the hairline, it'll show some light spots due to his colics. So we just making sure that we're being very precise. And now we're gonna set in now we're gonna do the hairline with the Babyliss trimmer. And he likes to get enhancements. Y'all know how I feel about enhancements. I don't really care for them, but I'm gonna definitely do what the client asked for. So we're gonna use the enhancements. But yeah, we're just setting in that lineup real quick. I did not record the enhancements, Jesus. So now we're gonna come with the razor, and you're stretching the skin. When you pull on the skin, it's way less of a chance of you cutting the person. So just pull that skin down when you're doing the lineup. And I always say search for those spots where you got some stubble there, and just clean it up. And as you can see, man, this blend has come together so smooth. I appreciate if you made it through this part of the video. We back. Just comment down. We back. We back. I got a couple more uploads, man. I'm gonna try to stick to it, man. I appreciate y'all sticking through the video, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Yeah.